everybody into the Fantasy BS podcast. Today is October 7th. We are recording on Saturday. It is return of the max season, baby. We've got Bryce getting 2 wins this week, your returning champ, and you got your returning champ of preseason last year taking down Smitty and the medium. We got 2 right there. Welcome into the podcast, Smitty. How you feeling after last week?
Nervous?
All right, we're going to talk about that. But your team didn't show out, dude, so I won't give you too much shame. I apologize. We're going to break down our matchup. Cassidy, how you doing today?
Oh, man, this week has been pure chaos, but we are committed to this league. We got ourselves together. Here we are sitting down, ready to talk fantasy on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, we're dedicated. I was traveling in Vegas. I'd let everybody know, so we're recording on Saturday because of that. But I just want to let everybody know, man, we've got a great sponsor to this show. It's brought to you by Green Mountain Beer Co. Cassidy, how do we get Green Mountain Beer if we live outside of Colorado? You got a website. Tell these folks how to get some of that beautiful beer that you serve.
Man, sorry, I got bad news for you. We do not distribute outside of Colorado, so you're going to have to come see me if you ever visit. If you know me well enough, I might ship you a case.
All right, so we might need to do a live draft next year in Colorado and not Vegas, so we can hook up our sponsor right there. Pretty good. But Cassie, let's stay with you, man. What are your thoughts of last week? Let's just get this show going of week 4 thoughts. I know we're pretty much in week 5 by the time everyone's listening to this, but just give a quick rundown week 4 and your thoughts, what you saw, what you liked, what you didn't.
Man, how the script has flipped. Just a couple weeks ago I was telling you guys, red alert on the Bears and don't worry about the Bengals. It's going to be fine. And what are we looking at now? You can't keep those Bears out of your lineup, and everyone's running as fast as they can from the Bengals. So what a world we live in.
Yeah, these fantasy's a bitch, dude. Like, it will get you, man. Smitty, you got some similar thoughts on that? I mean, we have shifted big time since week 2.
When we get into the matchup, I'll talk about it more.
Okay. Yeah, so when I look at my thoughts, like, there was a couple in there, but the return of the zero RB strategy's back. That was one thing that I've been looking at the last couple weeks is we all zero RB drafters felt like idiots the first couple weeks, but just as a reminder, someone put a note down if you're a zero RB person that the strategy never works the first couple weeks. It's always getting into week 4, 5, 6 when people start getting injured. So zero RB's back, baby. We look at Achan, who we have now. By the way, we got a new nickname. Cassie, what's the nickname for Achan moving forward?
Oh, dude, I don't know the nickname.
Buzz Lightyear, baby. I've been texting you guys that all week. We got Buzz Lightyear because that man's to infinity and beyond. But we got Mostert right behind there. We got Kyrene. We got Moss. We got all these beautiful backs that have been really good backs the first 4 weeks for the zero RB person. So that was my first thought. And my other thought is some squads had a get right week. And I mentioned it in the beginning. Bryce had a get right week. He was, lead high score this week, so he's 2-6 now. He had a get right week by sure. I did. Smitty did not. But those are my overall thoughts. And you guys want to talk about the JT contract this morning?
Oh, I would love to.
Smitty, jump on there.
What a redemption story! I mean, throughout the offseason, he was just. I mean, I did not want to touch the guy in redraft, not at all. And now he got this big contract, bigger than pretty much everyone on the. Pretty much everyone that got an extension, everyone on the, what's the name of that tag that they're for? Franchise tag. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just feel really good about him, and I feel really good about the Colts as a whole. Like, after their game against the Rams, this is one of those, literally every year I do this. I'll watch a team that plays the Rams that I just have a crazy amount of respect for, and the Colts is one of them. So I love it. I'm just, wheels up for that team, hopefully.
Yeah, Cassie, you think he's good to go, a full-time starter this week?
No, not this week. I don't know if you guys saw that next headline that came out and said that he's going to be on a snap count this week and ramping up for a month. So, I'd take a wait-and-see approach this week. But I do agree that he looks like he's a locked-in, solid starter. If you drafted pretty late, after the preseason with all that bad news, you got a good value on him. And this is not the way I thought the storyline was going to play out, but it looks like, Moss is waiver wire fodder, and it's a full go for JT.
Yeah, I've been keeping a little reminder in my journal, and I keep circling and I keep starring. This thing I keep writing in my book is that why do we listen to analysts? Why do we listen to analysts? because they let fear and emotion get in their way. And I understand that 90% of running backs aren't going to get done what Jonathan Taylor just got done, but that is an uber elite talent that's still in his prime. So we got to stop. We got to stop playing afraid, guys. And every analyst said fade JT, fade JT. We'll find out where that goes, but it looks like he could be a steal when we do this. The MVP's halfway through the season in 4 weeks. So news and notes. I want to give a good congratulations, Tim Ho. Man, we've talked about you a few times on this podcast. You are now number one in the league, sitting with only one loss. Your team is literally, if not the top scoring team, in the first 2 top scorers every single week. You're absolutely killing it. Hillary, you've been trading like crazy. We're going to go through some of those in a little bit. You're sitting at the number 2 spot at 6-2, still crushing it, but we did take a loss last week and did hit the median. And then we had a really, really bad beat last week. Tony, this is the 3rd week in a row that you are on the winning side of a bad beat. You're playing with fire, brother. You are playing with fire. So Tony beat Jamie 183.8 to 182.23. Oh, man.
Man.
When you do bad beats, if you have 3 bad beats in a row, are you thinking differently? You're like, man, I'm getting lucky? Or are you like, damn, my team's solid? Like, what is your thought, Cassidy, if you win 3 just bad beats in a row like that?
Oh, you're just getting lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Tony's been feeling that a little bit too, because Tony's been a very active trader in this league, and he keeps going out and buying wins. So, yeah, I like that. But we got to have the big losers here. So the not so good teams out there. Smitty, do you want to read them? I'll start with you because I'm going to start from the bottom of the list and work my way up here. So we've got Smitty sitting at last place in this league. Smitty, What are you doing right now? This is the only league we play in so many. We always talk about it. This is the only one that actually matters. This is the only one we really care about every single year. How are you feeling right now being in last place through a quarter of the season?
Well, I sold a bit of my soul. Okay, I sold a huge part of my soul for the Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow stack. And then I sold even a little bit more of my soul to get the Jordan Love and Christian Watson stack. And I even sold more of my soul to handle the storm while these two are not getting it right. So it's just, I really wanted these 2 stacks to be a thing. They were literally my 2 favorite stacks walking into this year. So I was very excited to even have them on a roster, especially in the Corona Couch coaches. And they're failing me left and right, especially Joseph, cigar smoking Burrow. I don't know. This must be smoking something else because he ain't got it right now. He don't have it right now, and it's really, I gotta figure out what to do here.
So,
I don't know what to do, but it's ugly right now.
So if you look back at the draft, do you draft Chase at the, what was it, 102, right?
103.
The 103. So here's who you passed, brother. Austin Eckler, I'm sure you don't care about that right now. Cooper Kupp, I'm sure you don't care about that right now. Steph Diggs, Bijan Robinson, A.J. Brown, I'm sure you don't really care that you passed on CeeDee Lamb, but Devontae Adams, the Sun God, Chris Olave, Jalen Waddle. So I hope things turn around for you, dude, because I don't want to see you in last place, but I don't want to see anybody in last place, but someone's got to do it.
Well,
so, Cassie, what words of wisdom you got for Smitty over here right now?
Man, yeah, going into the season, you'd feel so good about those stacks, especially in Superflex. I think Jamar Chase is going to be fine for you, but I'm really worried about Joe Burrow in a Superflex format. So that's what's really hindering you there. But I do think at this point, you just got to kind of ride it out. Burrow said he's feeling better. Hopefully brighter days are ahead, man.
Well, let's see. Thank you, though.
I agree. We're in a league that's 6 point for passing touchdowns. You get passing first downs. Like there's some scoring. There's a lot of elements that can add to a passing quarterback. So as soon as he gets right, he's going to start throwing those. But I'm going to sound the alarm. I think we should have done it a while ago at the beginning of the season. But it's going to be a little bit for him to get back. But so I know we've talked a little bit about it, but just to let everybody know that Week 4 showdown, Smitty lost 204 to 145. DJ Moore and Buzz Lightyear led the way for me, about 33 points each, and the Bengals killed you, Smitty.
Even their defense, who I spent quite a bit of fab on.
Was it like 30 fab? What was it, like 30, 31 fab, right?
Not quite. It was 21 actually. It was 21.
21. 21, yeah, that was pretty egregious. But the other ones that are on the bottom of the list, we got returning champ Bryce, 2-6, who I said had a get right week. Adrian Dundinitz also at 2-6 right now. So we've got 3 teams at 2-6, and then me above them at 3. So I'm pretty much where you guys are at in my time. But that's kind of the breakdown. Smitty, talk to me about some trades that happened last week in the league.
Yo, last week, or since our last podcast, 6 trades went down. And I'm about to
Wow.
go over. I'm about to name all of them. So, first trade that went down, Dr. Jamie gets Puka Nakua and Kenneth Gainwell, and Adrian Dundiddy gets Hollywood Brown and Gabriel Davis. So, like we mentioned just now, Adrian is a part of the 2-6 club. He's not doing well as me. So, he had to do a bit of tearing down, and I think I like his side a lot. I think those 2 pieces, Hollywood Brown and Gabe the Babe, can help him rise to the top. We'll see. Because this is his first week with these 2, but I think they'll help him. Now, on the other side, I did mention Dr. Jamie gets Puka Nakua and Kenneth Gainwell. That could be Puka could be pretty exciting for her team. What do you guys think about this?
So Adrian was trying to trade Puka to me, and I think it was literally when we were doing this podcast last week. I can't remember. It was like right around that time period. But as soon as I saw that trade from Puka come through, I was like, you know what? I'm not giving you what you want for this, but he's going to get traded today because he's going to have an issue with Puka and Cup on his lineup moving forward. So any which way I look at this trade, it's a good trade across the board for everybody, I think. Puka is going to have a big role in this offense still. I mean, Stafford's going to throw this football. Cassie, what do you think about those trades? That trade?
Yeah, good job. I think moving on from Puka, especially if you already have Cup in your lineup, it's a good time to do it. I think you got good value on the trade. It probably helps the other team as well. I might be wrong about this, but I view Gainwell as a bit of a throwaway in that trade. I mean, unless something happens to Swift. So it's kind of an insurance back, which, I like to have players on my roster at this point in the season that you can use to plug in for bye week holes. So I would take the, who was it, Gabe Davis and who?
It was Gabe
Hollywood
DeVabe
Brown.
and Hollywood Brown.
I would take the Gabe. I'm taking the Gabe and the Hollywood side of that. I mean, Puka's a star. I think he's going to be fine, but I also think, time will tell, but I think we've seen, his superstar days are probably coming to an end.
Yeah,
Like the
and I
elite
do
wide
agree
receiver
that-
1 days.
Yeah, I do agree that Gainwell probably will be on the waiver wire here in a couple weeks as we start really hitting these bye weeks.
Yeah.
But that trade comes down to, is Gabe the Babe going to be the Gabe the Babe we thought he was going to be last year? And I know we talked about him and Kincaid don't play the same role in the offense, but targets have to come from somewhere. And I do believe that this is a pro Kincaid podcast, and we feel the back end of the season is going to be good. So we'll find out. So what are the other trades here, Smitty?
All right, just want to okay, number 2, we have another one from Adrian. He gets Javonte Williams, and what do you know? Matt Brewer gets Chris Godwin. Matt Brewer made a trade, y'all. So it's again Adrian Dundiddy gets Javonte Williams. Matt Brewer gets Chris Godwin, a cross positional swap. And
This was pre Javonte Williams injury, right?
Yes, it was. It sure was.
Okay. Yeah, so break this down. I mean, obviously now we got Williams injured. Godwin is absolutely the winner on this side of it
Yeah.
right now, 100%. Cassidy, any other thoughts on that one?
No, it's always a bummer when you make a trade. You identify a need on your roster, and you feel like you can move a running back for a wide receiver or vice versa, and then that the player that you acquire gets injured. That's just a bad break.
It is, and you know what? I will tell you that Brewer needed a good break. He's had some injuries. I mean, he had Rodgers on that squad go down right off the bat. So I mean, he's had some bad luck on his team as well. I can't remember if he had Nick Chubb or not. I think he had Nick Chubb. So I like it, Matt. Throwing some trades out there. You made your team better on that trade for sure. And Adrian, I hope Javonte gets back on the field as soon as possible, so that way we can start seeing that side of the trade. So what's the third trade?
All right, third trade. Commissioner Tony gets. I forgot about this one. Commissioner Tony gets Sam Laporta. His name is Sam, right? It doesn't matter. He gets Laporta and Montgomery, 2 lines, while Tim Ho gets Eckler. So Laporta and Montgomery for Eckler. I am very easily on the Lions side.
I'm easily on both sides, knowing Tim's makeup on his team. He was running back heavy, but he I forget who his other tight end. I'll look at that in a second. But he consolidated up to who could be a league winner in Austin Eckler if he stays healthy. That is a true elite winner, and especially with Williams down on the other side. But I love that trade for both sides, and I'm going to pull up Timo's tight end right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Tim's in a position where he can sit and wait for Eckler as long as he needs to, which is pretty cool. I mean, that's
Yeah,
that's what you need to do when you get a guy like Eckler. But
he's running Hawk. He's running Hawkinson.
oh
I mean,
Jesus, yeah,
would.
wow, nicely done.
I think
Nicely
that's a
done.
great tier up and all across the board. Both teams made themselves better. Fantastic trade. Cassie, what do you think?
Yeah, totally. In a vacuum, give me the Montgomery Laporta side. But if you've got Hawkinson and you can cash in on Laporta and hopefully upgrade your running back, you kind of got to call your shot. Hopefully Eckler's healthy coming out of his bye. Now's the time to do it. So,
Yep.
yeah, good trade.
Agreed. Great. Take a chance. You got to take a chance to win sometimes. I think anyone knows you don't play for second. So good job, boys. What's number 4?
All right, number 4 is by far and away my favorite. I didn't mean to preface it, but I just have to. Gordon Hill gets Russell Wilson, A.J. Brown, and Luke Musgraves, and Snake Eye Scotty gets Justin Jefferson and Tutu Atwell. I would love to know what you guys think before I go on.
Why don't you break this one down first, Cassidy?
Yeah, refresh my memory on that. Say it again.
Yeah, so
We got you
Gordon
guys.
Hill
Please.
gets Russell Wilson, A.J. Brown, and Luke Musgraves. Snake Eyes gets J.J. and Tutu.
Man, that is an
JJ.
intense trade.
Right.
I can't believe this is one of the things I love about the Corona Couch Coaches League is you get, the number. I'm assuming JJ was 101 or maybe 102, but probably the 101 getting traded
101.
away. And we could talk about him later, but usually the 101 is a bust. Not this year. Justin Jefferson is absolutely on fire. He's breaking all the records, so his value is sky high. I don't know the specific situations of those rosters. It seems fair in a super flex, but
I'm going to read this.
yeah, I usually
Oh,
like the best player in the trade. I think I'm going to hold on to JJ in that situation, but
I agree. I hate Russ. It's just I'm not stacking my chips on Russ. But here's Scotty's team now. He's running Lamar Jackson, C.J. Stroud as his quarterbacks right now.
Great.
He's only running 2 quarterbacks. His wide receiver core is now Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Tank Dell, Michael Wilson, the Sun God, Tutu, and Dotson.
wow.
But he's building a mega team here, and he's running Khalil Herbert as a running back right now. Jerome Ford, Chuba Hubbard, Cam Akers. He's built a nice squad, and he's got J-Mo on his injured reserve right now. Wow. Oh no, sorry, that's Jamal Williams on his injured reserve.
Yeah.
I take the Jefferson side, but I still like both sides. I think it.
Well, hold on. Do you mind reading Gordon Hill's team? Because there's a big reason why I like her side.
Dude, her team stacked, man. She's running Tua in the QB. Now she's running Russ in as her second QB. Her wide receiver core is going to sit A.J. Brown, Adam Thielen, George Pickens, Jaden Reed, Marvin Mims, and then she's going to run in a running back Raheem the Dream, Madison, Isaiah Pacheco, and then McLaughlin from Denver, and Saquon. So that's a stacked team, man. I mean, she's 6-2 for a reason. She's making good moves, really
Yeah.
good moves.
I think one of my favorite things in the world when it comes to trading, and we already spoke on it in one of these trades, but I love me a tear down. I love me a you have this player like JJ, right? You can get whatever you want. We didn't mention it because it's the next trade coming up, but you know what? I'm just gonna have to go to the next trade and then we can come back. So the next trade, Gordon Hill, she gets Isaiah Pacheco in $50 fab, and Dr. John gets Daniel Jones
I
and
saw that.
Najee.
Yeah.
So about that trade there, she had Daniel Jones and he was crap in the bed. I mean, just a real bad player. So she needed to get off him. So she needed a quarterback to replace him. JJ She used JJ to get a wide receiver 1 in A.J. Brown, a tight end 1 in the making, and a top 10 quarterback in Russell Wilson. I freaking love that haul. I mean, when I saw that trade, I did kind of make a dig on it and say, "Hey, Sky, thanks for getting my opponent. Thanks for getting a JJ off my opponent's team." But honestly, though, her response was, "Hey, no one man's island. You need a whole good team, and my team just wasn't it." And I think she's right. So with Russell, AJ Brown, and her current team, I think uh, I think she's going to be a tough player. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but
So this
that's
trade
good.
I wanted to break down. This one I really did, and I put a star next to something I put in my journal, and that was when you know your opponent is trying to make a trade with a team. When you're having that week and you know it, and your offer isn't good enough to go get a player, and you let your opponent get a better team against you that week, you failed. I was trying to make a trade with Hillary. I sent her a DM that says she told me she was working something out with Dr. John. I said, let me know before you make that trade. I'm willing to make a better offer. And she got the trade done without coming back to me. And I wish I would have put in an offer instead of leaving it on her. And now Dr. John got a second quarterback on me this week because he had Pickett as his
Oh,
second
you're
QB.
playing Dr. John.
Yeah. So note to self,
Oh,
sometimes you got to go by a week. I always talk about that. I might have actually bought myself a loss by not making a move. So I like this trade all the way around, and I hate it for my opponent this week. And by the way, Cassidy, Dr. John and me when had a player going Thursday night. He had Justin Fields, I had DJ Moore, so we're both like sitting
Oh my
basically
God.
50 points.
Damn.
I know.
Yeah, that
It's
Fields
kind
is
of
finally
crazy.
playing out for you, Dr. John. Congratulations on that.
Yeah. So why don't you break down Pacheco $50 a fab for Daniel Jones and Najee Harris, Cassidy?
Yeah, this is interesting. This is the kind of trade you'll only see in a super flex. I find myself personally really, really out on Daniel Jones, and Pacheco is really impressed. But that said, in a super flex, I think it's fair. It identifies needs on each other's rosters, and hopefully everyone's happy with that roster improvement. We'll see this week with Daniel Jones, man. It's an opportunity for a sneaky shootout game, so we're going to find out.
And I will say for anyone that's listening to this, I know they were looking at the chat. Hillary was forced to make that trade, by the way, which is why I knew she
oh
was
right.
doing a trade because somehow someone got messed up in her IR spot. I think it was Luke Musgrave. She couldn't put her defense
Oh,
in. So
yeah.
she had to make a trade. And that's why she was out there letting people know that. That's why I knew that that was there. So when I break that trade down, it is what it is. I do like the quarterback side, even though I hate the running back in there. But it is what it is. So let's get to the sixth trade, and then we'll move on. Keep this rolling. We're about 22 minutes here, boys.
Okay.
All right, final trade. Literally this morning, I get Higby, Adrian Dundee gets Kincaid. Quickly explaining this. Not only
Holy
did I
crap!
want,
I didn't see that this morning. What the hell?
yeah,
Read
literally
that again.
this morning, like 2 or 3 hours ago. Just quickly explaining this. Not only did I want Rams representation on my team, but because I'm in 12 pace, I don't have time to wait for Kincaid. I just don't. And Adrian, because he also has Goddard, he definitely has time to wait for Kincaid. So hopefully this can help him out in the long run and me out right now. So that's my breakdown.
First off, my first thought is, what the f? Why are you not coming to me when you're going to do a trade like that? I would have given you much better value for Kincaid than you just got right there. 100%.
Well, who are your tight ends now that we're talking about it?
I would have found a way to make that trade happen, Smitty, because I'm also looking for a tight end right now, and I would have found a way to make that happen. But you just gave up your number one tight end in your mind this year. Cassie, you gave up that's your rookie offensive player of the year for somebody that's not getting the targets now with an elite receiver coming back. I hate that trade,
Well,
Smitty. All the way
we'll
around.
see.
Adrian,
We'll
cheers
see.
to you. I'm sorry. I hate it, dude. I hate that trade for you. I'm mad you didn't come to me. I would have given you much better value.
Well, and I honestly I don't doubt that, but I needed to figure out something right now, and I mean we don't really know because Higby has been very successful in a Cooper Cup and a Robert Woods offense. So if we're expecting something similar, which I am, I think I'll be all right.
So, a lesson that I think you're trying to tell our millions of followers right now is even though you went into the season with a viewpoint on a player, you have to be ready to pivot and give up less for that player just in case. Cassie, what do you think about this trade? I got to stop talking on this one.
That's fine. In general, I don't like same position trades. I just kind of feel like it's so close that it's sort of like why even bother. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a good time to go get Everett with Cup coming back. Kincaid, we'll see. I like your point that it has to go somewhere where someone can afford to wait on him. But yeah, I don't know. I view that trade as a throwaway, honestly.
And I'll even admit this, Kincaid. I think the ballers even mentioned this, but Kincaid is slowly starting to separate. And so we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. Not looking great. I
We'll
mean, no,
see.
it is looking great for him.
I'm super glad that I did not see that until this podcast because I was so busy this morning. That reaction, sorry. I might have overreacted that one a little bit, but
Well,
man,
maybe not
that
an
would
overreaction,
have
but
solved a
it's
big issue for me, Smitty. All right, so I think we're out of the news and notes right now, but let's go to a couple segments here before we have the next like 10 minutes or so. But we're going to go over we're about quarter of the way through the season, boys and girls, and we are, oh, by the way, I need to say something I've been trying to say on 5 episodes now. Someone brought it to my attention that they thought my team name was named after titties. And I want to let everybody know that I'm not a sexist prick. It is not named after any type of female organ. It is literally named after Me First and the Gimme Gimmes punk rock band, which is why it's Me First and the TDTDs. I've been meaning to say that for 5 episodes. So now everyone knows that I'm not naming it after some boobs. All right, so we're going to break down quarter of the way through the season. We're going to go over our MVPs, where they were drafted, and our busts. Cassidy, hit me off. Smitty's laughing too hard. Who's your first MVP?
Listen, guys, my first MVP is Keenan Allen. We took him too late in drafts. He went in the middle of the 4th round. Guys, listen to this. He is currently on pace for 1,800 yards, 180 targets, 150 receptions, and 13 touchdowns. That's wide receiver 1 numbers. You got him in the 4th. Congratulations.
For real.
180 targets. That's Justin Jefferson range, dude.
Yeah.
You didn't even need to put a name to that. You could have just said 1,800 yards, 180 targets, 13 touchdowns, and I think we would have said MVP 100%. Where does he rank? I didn't look at his rankings. Is he wide receiver 1 right now?
That's a good question. Come back to me.
Actually, let me pull it up in our format.
I've got it right in front of me.
Yeah, but we got this weird.
He's number
scoring
4.
form.
Right. He's 4 in half point.
Dude, I mean, just at the 4-4, holy crap, I'm jealous. I wish I had it. So he's wide receiver 3 that you got in the 4th round in our scoring system. Smitty, that's on the other side of your town. So, I mean, do you even like saying that Chargers an MVP?
Good luck. No, but seriously, I'm very happy for him. He was serious. If I was trying to create if I was going into a dynasty startup trying to contend, he was one of my favorite targets, and I'm so glad he's paying off. I love Keenan Allen, if I'm being honest. So yeah, I'm very proud of him, and I hope this continues.
Yep, and it's a little note that I put in my book that I literally just wrote when you said Keenan Allen, because look at this is where sometimes my own draft strategy goes away from me. I like young explosive talent, and I faded Keenan Allen all draft season. I wanted one of those young 2nd-year players right in that spot, and this is where I need to check myself and remind myself. Cassidy drafts vets for a reason, and they work, and they've done it. So I think that was a no-brainer that we all just overlooked because of his age, personally. But MVP, Carl, who's your MVP of? Go ahead, Rhea. Who's your MVP?
I gotta say Kyron Williams. I mean, one of the coolest things about Rams Week 1, and I don't know if it's that cool, but yeah, one of the coolest things about Rams Week 1 is that Cam Akers and Kyron Williams basically shared, if not, Kyron got more snaps, and that was very interesting. And because Kyron Williams was a waiver wire guy, that really should have said a lot. So whoever got a chance to pick up Kyron Williams on Week 1, Week 2, waiver wire, don't even matter how much fab you spend, he is now officially getting, if not 100%, 90% of the snaps on a team that really knows how to run the ball when they need to. So,
is this a rest of season?
MVP. Say what?
Is this a rest of season MVP, a league winning guy?
100%, 100%. Because the way Rams use running backs, it always is a key to success in fantasy.
I agree. No, I agree. He just has to stay healthy. That's it. There's no one else on that depth squad. I mean, what is Ronnie Rivers? He's not taking snaps. Wherever it is.
He's taking some, but it's not a serious amount to where I don't even think he's rosterable yet.
He's my if I got someone go on, if I can put someone on the IR spot for right before a Sunday game pickup in case Kyrie gets injured, like that's who he is to me. But other than that, I'm
smart move.
Yeah, Cassie, what do you think about Kyrie?
Listen, anytime you can get somebody off the waiver wire that's an RB1, I mean that's how you win leagues. Right now he's sitting at RB4, and you said it. You know they're just using him so much that scares me as well. But as long as he can stay healthy, that's a a league winning pickup.
Yeah, I mean, just absolutely fantastic. When I look at my good side, guys, I mean, I'm more targeting almost a team here on my MVPs, but let's give it to Timo. He's winning this league for a reason right now at 6-1. David Montgomery drafted at 7-6, and Sam Laporta drafted at the 16.7. Those are league winning picks. Sam Laporta
Yeah.
has been a monster in this format. And roughly tight ends, it's like 4 points a play. I mean, if you look at it, we get 1 point for the first down, 2 points for the catch, and then the yardage, which is usually seven
Wow.
to ten. So he is in the 16th round. Who did he just trade him for? We
Actually,
traded Laporta and Monty for Eckler. I mean, he took a 16th round pick to tier up at running back. What fantastic! I mean, I can't say enough about the Lions. I'm impressed with most of the team. With that said, Cassidy, why don't you just throw in who your bad is right now while we're on the topic of the Lions?
yeah, your
Yeah,
bust of the year so far.
yeah, that's a really good segue. My best pick of the 2023 season is Jameer Gibbs, which really hurts my feelings to say because I was really high on that guy. And it's not a talent issue, it's just a usage issue. But if you guys want to know, he's on pace right now for 166 attempts, for 760 yards, 60 targets for 300 yards, and 0 touchdowns.
It's
That's
not going to
not
finish.
second round value. There's another running back out there that has almost an exactly identical stat line and projection. Do you know who that is?
Please tell me so I can get upset.
It's Devin Singletary.
I didn't look at his. I think we're right around there. Yeah, Tyler Algier. Tyler Algier. So Jamar
Whoa!
Gibbs is basically Tyler Algier, drafted in the
I'm gonna
second.
throw this remote. What the? Wow! I almost had a real poor reaction to that. Jesus Christ!
I'm big into rooting for the Lions. I've been big into Gibbs, and my analysis doesn't mean really anything compared to what Mike Wright's was. I believe it was yesterday or the day before. They were talking about, and he just flat said David Montgomery is just a better running back right now.
Yeah.
Fully agree. Monty is an elite running back still. I mean, the dude can catch, the dude can run, and he can score touchdowns. He did in Chicago on a bad offensive line. He's doing it even better with a better.
Yeah.
This could be a rest of year gig unless David gets injured. I agree. He's going to be a huge bust. Smitty, how does it feel to own Jamar Gibbs in the second round? Because you drafted him in the 210, right?
Sure did, sure did. You know what? I've really got to be looser on my convictions walking into from the preseason because I mean, just all these bets I've made are not paying off, and that is an ugly one. Jesus Christ!
I want
Algier
to say
numbers,
one. I want to
really?
say one more thing about that. It's like everyone's always talking about the upside of Jameer Gibbs if Montgomery gets hurt, right? But no one ever thought like, well, what about the upside of Montgomery if fucking Jameer gets hurt? And
Oh my God!
Jameer pulled his
Oh my
hamstring in
God!
practice this week.
Did he? I
So
didn't see that.
yeah, yeah. So Montgomery to the moon.
For sure, for sure.
I I agree. And you know what? He was a target of mine. I just didn't get him where I wanted to in this, and I wish I would have, man. I'd be pretty good right now if I did. But Timo, congrats on there. So let's get into your bat here, Smitty.
Um, let's talk about Cam Akers. Honestly, once again, in the preseason, we said, okay, he had a great end of the 2022 season. In the 2023 season, he will have the exact workload that Kyron Williams has. And it's like, I mean, how can you not want that from a Ram running back? But, there was a guy in the backfield that was just a little bit. Have I ever talked to you guys about the Beach Boys?
So I'm
Like,
a huge Beach Boys fan. I know you are too, Smitty. So you can hit us with it.
well, no, it's not necessarily the band. It's just Beach Boys are guys that I call they're like number twos on like a running back committee, who at any given moment can beat the number one off his spot. So I just call them Beach Boys. And Kyron Williams was kind of always a Beach Boy, and now that we see him beating off Cam for his spot, it's just I wish I would have saw this coming, and we all could have in some ways. So let's just keep an eye out on that moving forward. Who's in the backfield? Who has potential to, beat off the first guy?
I don't care about Cam Akers whatsoever. Didn't care about him going into this year. I've been the number one saying he can't recover from an Achilles over the last couple of
Yeah.
years. He showed out for a little bit. If I'm a Madison owner, I do not. I mean, one, I'm scared just of Madison alone, but I do not care about Cam Akers whatsoever. I'm running it out there. Yeah, that's. I just want to know what happened inside the organization. This is 2 years in a row, and I think it's the same issue. And I just don't know what happened with him and basically the brass there that just they don't like him. He pissed him off. I mean, was he fucking Stafford's wife or something? I don't know. I mean,
I was thinking something sort of similar. That's crazy that you even said that.
oh man, it's like when Jason Richardson was with the Phoenix Suns and he was sleeping with Steve Nash's wife and they shipped him out.
Yeah, see, I always think about stuff like that because that has real implications. Can't be doing it.
You can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. Gaz, you got any thoughts on Akers before we move on?
The process was right on him. We just got the wrong guy.
Actually, I think
Yeah,
that's a
exactly.
really good way of putting it. My bad. You know what? That's a good way of putting it. The process is right, but the injuries have been wrong. And my bad. So if you went in the draft and you drafted any Cincinnati Bengals, they are the biggest bust to me. Moving forward, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins had himself a decent game, but now we got an injury there. Joe Mixon is suffering because of that. There's no tight end involvement. It's the entire offense at this point. And if they don't get going by like week 6 or 7, they won't be able to come out of the bust category and be a legitimate start the rest of the year. If they don't get it going soon, it's going to be rest of season bust. But I don't think there's a lot to talk about. I think everyone else listens to podcasts on the Bengals. I think it's just a crappy year because of an injury. Any thoughts on that?
Just praying for a bounce back any day, any week. I don't care if it's week 17. They just need to figure it out because, I mean, it's just really bad for their organization now. They look crazy.
Well, if you can't get right against the Cardinals, I don't know who you get right against personally. Maybe
Should have been the time.
Denver Broncos, maybe. But, so do they get right this week, Cassidy?
I'm kind of hoping that they do. I think that Cardinals and Bengals game has a chance to be a sneaky shootout.
Woo!
Hey, guys, we're at 37 minutes. I'm going to kick out one of the episodes. You want to talk tight ends or you want to talk sneaky stacks?
No sneaky stacks. Let's just get to tight ends.
Let's get to tight ends. All right. Let's talk a little bit about tight ends. So tight ends have been a thing this year, guys. They've been a thing. In our scoring format I was just talking about, they're even a bigger thing. But this is a great start to the tight end position, and it's a better start than I've seen in a long time. Now, I will tell you that I'm a warp chart guy, and I believe that this will all even itself out moving forward. But talk about the good tight ends that we have going on right now. Laporta, Hawkinson, Ingram, Ferguson, Cole Kmet, Hunter Henry, Logan Thomas. The bad tight ends from where we drafted them. Darren Waller, Travis Kelce because of injury. Mark Andrews hasn't really showed out. George Kittle. So we're seeing almost the warp chart revert itself right now where all of these players that are all the same, supposed to be the same guy, that they're looking much better and against a warp against these other tight ends. I don't value the tight end position. I never have. And I did a trade that's actually hurt my squad a little bit, but I think it made my squad better in the long run. I'm going to stream. I always do. I always will. I think this is from my side of it. And I was texting Tony about this the other day and Logan Thomas is sell your tight ends right now because teams feel a pinch because they don't have the tight end because of this hot start for some of these tight ends. 2 or 3 weeks from now, when everything flattens itself out, people won't feel the pinch as much for a tight end. So my advice on this pod is if you have a tight end that's a traditional warp and replaceable and they're doing really well, get them off your roster as soon as possible because someone will pay. Cassie, how do you feel about that thought process?
Actually, I think you really nailed it. That's really, really good insight. Yeah, and I have a similar, take on tight ends as you. I've always been kind of, zero hero with the tight end position. And if you miss out on basically Kelce or Andrews, just punt it and pick up somebody at the end because they're all kind of the same guy. But the stats this year aren't really bearing that out. A lot of those late drafted guys are showing out. So it's messing with all of our lineups and statistics.
Is this something that can continue, Cassidy? Like that's my.
It's going to flatten out. You said it. It's going to flatten out for sure. I think that the cream is going to rise to the top, but it's pretty shaky right now.
So of those bad ones, Waller, Kelce, Andrews, Kittle. We can probably take Kelsey out of there as long as he's healthy. Good to go. Let's talk Waller, Andrew, and Kittle. Those were other census top 4 tight ends there. Are these buy low targets for you, or are these just screw the tight end position because they're probably still going to cost too much?
I would say Andrews is a buy low target.
Andrews buy low.
That's the only one. That's the only one.
Yeah. I mean, you still can't get Kelsey for cheap because he's Travis Kelsey. So I agree.
I think Andrews, but I'm a Waller owner, and I'm terrified, dude. I don't know what to do.
I'm a Waller owner some places as well, and he might be one of those you just got to cut bait on.
Yeah.
I mean, he might be one of those that you don't think you can drop, and I don't recommend dropping Darren Waller, but maybe take less than he's worth just to make it somebody else's problem if you've got solid players. Anything else you guys want to say about the tight ends position? I mean, it's been a killer.
You treat Waller as like one of these other tight ends like Luke Musgraves and them, and just he has a big name. Just use him as one of them. I mean, I wouldn't completely cut him, but he's just now one of the rest. No longer elite.
I agree. All right, you guys want to do a breakdown? You want to talk a little Mahomes versus Maotto?
Let's do it. I don't even know what that is, but let's hear it.
You haven't seen... Oh, my God. All right.
No, it's a State Farm commercial, right?
It's a State Farm commercial.
Yeah.
But we got to talk about this. Travis Kelsey is now dating Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is the most popular NFL player right now. And the dude still can't get the respect of being the best player on his team, dude. Like, that commercial of him being Maotto, dude, we are calling him Maotto for the rest of time. Like, the Kelsey does not exist anymore. That commercial, that is so damn witty. I'm starting to love Travis Kelsey and hate him at the same time, by the way, because I'm in, like, overload Travis Kelsey right now. But... can we call him Maotto moving forward, guys, or do you got a better nickname for Kelsey?
Yeah, anything outside of the Swift crap, I'm happy with. So Maotto is definitely on with me.
Dude, I love it when he's just sitting there looking at Patrick Mahomes. He's like, why can't you be Kelsey? Just bundle your garbage.
What the fuck? That's a good one, dude.
Dude, that one, and I'm going to give it to State Farm to end this one. They're doing some solid commercials because the other one, when he says one word and then he says 5 of them, and the guy looks at it and says, wait, that's 5 words? He goes, not if you bundle them.
Nice.
State Farm.
They're killing it.
Best commercials. All right, guys, we'll end it there. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we close this one out?
Hey, guys, T. Higgins is out for week 5. Fire up that Jamar Chase. Fire him up. This is your last chance. Let's do it.
Hey. I hope you don't end up 2-8 by the time we're done. Thanks, boys. Always appreciate you. Good luck, everybody. Cheers.